This is a Talking Sports with Evan Sports Flash, the return of the Talking Sports with Evan Sports Flash. And today's Sports Flash is hopefully an important lesson learned in regards to Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard, about 2 years ago, out in Portland, wanting a trade, demanding a trade, and eventually gets traded to the Milwaukee Bucks just before training camp. And now he's going back to Portland 2 years later in the same position he was in 2 years ago without a ring. Damian Lillard wanted out of Portland because he felt that they weren't going to give an opportunity to get a championship ring. He demands a trade, ends up in Milwaukee. So the question can be then asked, was the Damian Lillard trade a failure? Well, it kind of depends on what you consider a failure or not. The reason the Bucks traded for Damian Lillard was to win a championship. That's why they traded for Damian Lillard. They wanted to win a championship. But for numerous reasons, unfortunately, it just didn't happen, from injuries, team chemistry, poor coaching decisions, poor coaching hires. It just didn't happen. And the Bucks, shockingly, about 2 weeks ago, waived Damian Lillard, stretched out his contract for over 5 years, and now he's back in Portland. And I bring up a lesson learned is I don't think that Giannis is ever going to ask for a trade out of Milwaukee. I don't see that happening, but I hope this is a lesson learned from Giannis, that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I hope it's a lesson learned from Giannis that sometimes you should just stay home. Damian Lillard missed his family and his kids. He was not happy in Milwaukee. He made the best of it. He made the best of the situation, but you could just tell he was not happy in Milwaukee. I mean, yes, he was not happy in Milwaukee. And the fact that he could have went to Boston, could have went to Miami, could have went to the Lakers, could have went to the Clippers, but he ended up going back to Portland. That shows you that his heart was always in Portland when he goes back to Portland on his new 3-year deal. And like I said, I hope Giannis takes note of that. And back to an earlier question I asked, was the whole Damian Lillard trade a failure? Giannis and Dame scored a lot of points with each other. They were one of the highest scoring duos in the NBA for 2 years in a row. But did they trade for Damian Lillard to score points, or did they trade for Damian Lillard to win championships? The answer was to win championships. So if you look at it from that perspective, the trade for Lillard turns out to be a failure in Milwaukee. We'll see if the Miles Turner signing ends up being a better outcome, but they didn't trade for Damian Lillard to fall in the first round of the playoffs 2 years in a row, and now they've lost in the first round the last 3 years. They didn't trade for Lillard for that. They traded for Lillard to challenge Boston and challenge the Knicks, challenge the Pacers, not be at home after the first round of the playoffs. And as I mentioned, a lot of things happened that prevented the Bucks from making that push. Giannis's calf, Middleton injury, Damian Lillard's blood clot, and then a ruptured Achilles. But as I said, I hope the Giannis takes a lesson from Damian Lillard's demand to be traded as a reason to hopefully stay in Milwaukee. This has been a Talking Sports with Evan Sports Flash. Find Talking Sports with Evan on YouTube and Facebook, and follow me on X at Evan with Sports.